Hi. In fact, what I'll do more specifically is actually be speaking about interior design trends in the hospitality market. I think there are people here that are probably a lot more versed in general interior design trends. The hospitality market is, from a trend point of view, is a far slower moving market. It's far more conservative as far as its trends are concerned, and that is for very good reason, really. It's large investments that can't afford to work on hit and miss, and also generally hospitality developments take a number of years to complete. So anywhere from 3 to 6 to even 10 years to complete. So if we rush to meet trends, we'll be outdated by the time it's installed. So it's a far slower moving market. Then, just sort of taking that back a little bit, and I think it links to some of the other points raised earlier. I think the biggest motivator in the last couple of years for trends in general, trends, design, lifestyle, has been the global economic recession. And it's a wonderful thing in my mind, actually, that happened, because suddenly when something really big like that happens, it forces a whole lot of undercurrents to the fore. Some then die, and others become the big trends. It forces a resolve. And the great thing about the recession is the moment we got to talking about money, it forced a whole lot of issues that we've been trying to get to the fore for quite some time. So, for example, sustainable living has been, trying. Al Gore tried. A whole lot of people tried. But the moment it got to the point where we can't afford things, suddenly we're all into saving and reusing, and that sort of then creates movements, simpler movements. So, being mindful, saving, then got everybody not using as much fuel, so cycling and walking, and it created a greater sense of community. In communities, we then started seeing markets. In those markets, we started seeing crafts. Crafts then got elevated to a point where we now have an artisan market. Rather than just being a sort of a kitchen industry, it's now a fully fledged design direction. So there are wonderful things that happen when we all move in one direction. So I think the big thing that came out of the recession for me is that we started questioning. And that's really exciting, because questioning, it really is the cornerstone of design. It's only when we question that we move forward. We find new solutions, we find new directions, and we move forward. So in a market that, as I said, is typically very resistant to change and to trends, we even started questioning here. So what I'll be taking you through are just a couple of really big questions. The answers to those are ongoing. But when enough people question the same thing and move in the same direction, we're starting to see movement in particular directions. So the first question really was, what is convenience? And this started coming really from the business market. It started not being possible for business travelers to travel all the time, and we just started questioning that. Is it really necessary for everybody to be flying all over the place to go to meetings? Can they rather do video conferencing? Can we do it via all kinds of other bits of technology? If they do travel, can they do a round trip in one day and don't have to stay over? If they do stay over, does it have to be a 5-star space, even if you're the MD? Or can you live somewhere more suitable? So out of that, we then started seeing a whole lot of development that started answering this. So this first example is from the Citizen M Hotel. And here they really pushed the boundary of reevaluating what a room space looks like. This is an incredibly tiny space, and they're typically close to airports or transport. And the idea really is that if you're going to be there for 6 hours, having a nap before you catch your transport, how big a space do you really need? Do you need all the wardrobes? Do we need to use all of those materials, all of that space, and waste it on that small experience? Or can we give you something that's far more focused and far more appropriate to what you are doing? This is also from Citizen N. This is the one in London. That then led to a whole another movement that we sort of loosely refer to as the limited service hotels, where we're saying do we need all of the staff? Do we need all of these people hanging around? Do we need to put up buffets that are laden with food that people have half of it and the other half is thrown away? Or can we have something that operates more on a sort of vida or pret-a-manger kind of arrangement, where we have fridges of food, it's not included in your price, you pay for it separately, and you help yourself if you feel you need to have anything. If you don't need to stop for it. Making it just a far quicker experience. While we're helping ourselves, can we not, this is the Yotel in New York, can we not just check ourselves in? Do we need staff there to be at our beck and call? Can we just do all of this ourselves? They've even taken it a little step further. This is called the Yobot, and it handles the luggage. So you hand your luggage in, and it stores it, and it retrieves it. So we're saving on all of those. So really what this is, so I'll just show you the rooms in the hotel. This the same scenario here, where it's just taken the room model, made it a whole lot smaller, and really questioned each part of it. You know, saying that if you're going to stay overnight or just for 2 days, who really unpacks everything? Do you need drawers? Do you need hanging space? What are the requirements for those spaces? And can we reinvent them slightly? So much smaller module, much more technology driven, and really what this started doing is it started taking the 3-star hospitality market out of this realm where before 3-star properties were sort of seen as the poorer sister of 5-star properties. So you basically take a 5-star room, you make everything cheaper and slightly smaller, and then you have a 3-star property. And what this sort of movement has done is it's really settled the 3-star movement in its own space, saying, I choose not to stay in a 5-star property, not because I can't afford it, but because it's more suitable to the kind of travel. And it deserves its own attention, and it's developing its own identity. So sort of moving on from that, the next question would be, what is relevance? And how do commercial properties remain relevant to the travelers that frequent those? And specifically in business travel, I think also over the last number of years, we've seen the profile of business travelers changing quite significantly. And so answering the needs of that market is also quite different. So it's a far younger market. It's a market that has money to spend, but choose not to do so with gay abandon. You know, it's being considerate. So before, hotels also tried this sort of thing of being everything to everyone, and there's a far stronger sensibility of saying, I have a point of view as a commercial property. I have a point of view, and if it suits you, you will stay here and you will frequent this, and there'll be some loyalty. If it doesn't suit you, then you will potentially move on. So it actually took brands outside of the hospitality market to come in and sort of bring this part in. So this is the Camper Hotel in Barcelona. So it's just about its point of view, and people support it for that point of view. So saying, you know, luggage, why does it need to be stored away? Can we not integrate it as part of the design experience? What does furniture look like in a room? You know, do I need a chair and a couch and a bed and all of these? Or can I have something that's a bit more fluid? And yes, not everybody will love sitting on a hammock, but that's fine. There are other spaces for them. So it's about this point of view and the choice of those, and even changing up the bathroom, you know, something that wouldn't sort of typically sit within the hospitality realm, a far more informal, a far more homey kind of experience. This is the Levi's Hotel. You know, again, something that's far less formal and has a strong identity, a strong point of view, far more geared towards a younger traveling market. You know, and here in the room, for example, also saying, you know, asking the same kind of questions. Do we need a wardrobe, or can I just have open hanging space? You know, will you live out of your suitcase anyway? And we've wasted all of those resources, the money, the space, the time, your room price is higher. Or can we give you something that's got identity, it's got attitude, and it serves the same purpose? That's also the same room from the Levi's Hotel. And then this started sort of leading into these spaces, that commercial spaces, that starting feeling far more comfortable and far more domestic and a lot more homey. So the next real big question was, what is comfort? What are the things that we provide in these spaces that provide guests with comfort and makes them feel comfortable in these large commercial spaces? So this is Again, the Citizen Inn in London. And you'll see the approach here is far more domestic. It has lots of little knickknacks. It has collections of things. It has far more domestic level of styling than we would typically have in commercial properties. You know, the same here. This is the same hotel. Lots of scatters. It has personality. It's a far more domestic environment than we've seen before. And even in the eating spaces, you know, it sort of looks like a pantry. It looks like someone's home. This is another hotel. It's the QT Hotel. It's in Australia. You know, with the same level of being informal, but of high quality. That informal is, yeah, that luxury is not, luxury and comfort is not synonymous with things dripping with gold. Same hotel there. And, you know, even the way they communicate is, yes, you're allowed to sit on the furniture. We know you're going to do that. This is what you do at home, so please do it here. And we've geared the room towards that. You know, the whole styling of it is all far more informal. And even in the higher level properties. So this is a W Resort by Patricia Aquila. So this is a 5-star property, but the same principles apply. A far more loose arrangement, not as strict as we typically see in hospitality design, and a sort of like a craft or artisan kind of feel. Also the same property. And, you know, these are all just from the same, well, so you just sort of get a general feel for that. And then the last one I'll speak about is what is luxury? And this really is sort of in the 5-star resort market, you know, that typically comes from a history of sort of Las Vegas and Dubai, where fountains sing and all kinds of crazy, you know, and really questioning that. What is luxury? Is that luxury? Is the fact that we're spending all of this money luxury? And why are we doing that to ourselves? So, you know, 2 resorts like this. This is a resort in Vietnam. It's on 7 hectares, and all the structures are built from materials found on that actual site. It's natural hot springs and mud baths. So spaces that are really bare, really empty compared to other luxury developments. But it allows a space to be meditative and to be still. So we're asking the question, what is luxury? Is luxury being able to hear the birds, feel the wind, not have cell phones? Is it time to have space? You know, is that what luxury is? To sit and contemplate. You know, even at the same property, is it to be part of the gardening experience? I mean, we all have probably kitchen gardens by now, but in a 5-star luxury development, who would have thought a kitchen garden right in the centre that guests are entertained by? You know, it's not showgirls, it's not feathers, but in fact just plants. You know, and the responsibility when it goes this simple and there's this much restraint is that it has to be far more considered. You know, when the one goes up, the other goes down, and you know, when there are fewer things, the things that are there need to be far more significant. So, still in the same property, it's about creating experiences that are explorations. So, teasing you through the spaces, going, there is something beyond here. You're getting a little closer to it, and finally you get to your baths. And there are even little spaces for isolation within those baths. So really sort of turning luxury upside down. This is another property in Brazil. It's the McKenna Resort. In the same vein, very stark, virtually no finishes, and an absolute luxury development. And for the fact that it offers this space, this breathing space, this freedom, this meditation. Still, it's the same property. You know, you can see the bedrooms, no carpets, no big wardrobes, no big fluffy anything, no color-changing lights, none of the things we typically want to associate with this luxury market, and yet very well supported and very well received. You know, or is luxury just a setting and harmony? This is also in Vietnam, the 6 senses, very simple rooms. You know, but is this what we require in this new post-recession market? And this is the last visual from that one. And that's it.